May 8, 1945, the war in Europe is over, but in a dusty field outside the ruined city of Darmstadt, Germany, 38 women still wear the grey uniforms of the Wehrmacht. They are the last female auxiliaries of the Luftnachrichten service. They were the Signal Corps girls who operated radios, telephones and radar stations until the final hour. Ages 18 to 29, some volunteered. Some were conscripted. All of them are prisoners now, waiting for whatever the victors decide comes next. They sit in rows on the ground, knees drawn up, surrounded by American GIs with rifles. Their faces are thin. Their hair is cropped short under caps stripped of insignia. They have not eaten properly since February. The last official ration was a cup of watery soup and a slice of sawdust bread 3 days ago. They know the stories. They expect shouting, blows, revenge. They wait quietly, because that is what German women were taught to do. But the Americans are not shouting. A young lieutenant from Texas steps forward. His name is Daniel O'Connell. He is 24, baby-faced, with a drawl thick as molasses. He has seen too many camps in the last month. He has also seen his own men hand chocolate to starving children in France. He looks at the women, some barely older than his sister back home, and makes a decision. He turns to his sergeant and gives a simple order. Bring the kitchen truck up. 10 minutes later, 2 field kitchens roll forward. The smell spreads across the field. Real coffee, frying spam, powdered eggs, baking biscuits. The women smell it and do not believe it. Some begin to cry without sound. Lieutenant O'Connell walks the rows with a clipboard, asking through an interpreter if anyone is wounded or sick. A few hands rise. He marks them carefully, then does something no one expects. He fills a mess tin high with scrambled eggs, 2 butter-soaked biscuits, a thick slice of spam, and a spoon of peach jam. He walks to the first woman in the front row, 19-year-old Erika Müller from Hamburg. Erika stares at the food as if it is a trick. She has never seen so much in one place. The lieutenant smiles without anger and says in careful German, "Essen bitte." "Eat, please." Her hands shake as she reaches out. The mess tin rattles in Erika's hands. She takes one bite of the eggs. Her eyes close. Tears slide down cheeks still dusted with airfield soot. She whispers something no one expects. "This is the best food I've ever had." The lieutenant doesn't understand the words, but he understands the look. He moves to the next woman, then the next. Within minutes, every woman holds a full mess tin, warm and heavy in trembling hands. Some eat slowly, afraid the food will be taken away. Some eat too fast and choke while crying. Others don't eat at all, pressing the hot tin to their chests and rocking gently, as if warmth itself might disappear. Private Ruth Becker, 21, from Munich, hasn't tasted butter since 1942. She spreads it thick on her biscuit, licks the knife clean, then breaks down, sobbing so hard she can barely swallow another bite. Corporal Elsa Kleiner, 27, a mother of 2 she hasn't seen in 2 years, sips real coffee with canned milk and sugar. She closes her eyes and mouths "Danke" again and again like a prayer. The American soldiers watch in silence. Many have sisters, wives, sweethearts. Some have daughters. One GI slips a Hershey bar to the girl beside him. Another lights a Lucky Strike and passes it down the row. Soon the air fills with cigarette smoke and the sound of women chewing, crying, and trying not to sob at the same time. The field no longer feels like a place of surrender, but something fragile and human. Lieutenant O'Connell sits on the ground with them. Through the interpreter, he asks where they are from, what they did in the war, whether they have families. The answers come slowly, then all at once. They are terrified of being judged, but the lieutenant only nods. He tells them about his little sister in San Antonio learning to drive a tractor. The women laugh, small, broken laughs, but real. Night falls over the field. Instead of trucks and interrogation camps, blankets are handed out. Real wool blankets, smelling of mothballs and America. They are told they will sleep in a barn with straw and a roof. Before they are led away, each woman receives a small paper bag. Inside are 2 Hershey bars, a pack of Lucky Strikes, a tin of spam, and a handwritten note carefully translated into German. The note reads, "You were doing your duty. We were doing ours. The war is over. Welcome to the human race again. At the bottom is a signature. 87th Infantry Division, United States Army. Many of the women will keep that note for the rest of their lives. Some fold it into a Bible. Others hide it in drawers. One will frame it on a wall, proof that Mercy once arrived in uniform. Erika Müller will frame hers. In 1949, she will marry an American soldier and move to Wisconsin. Every Christmas, she bakes biscuits with too much butter and tells her grandchildren about the day the enemy fed her. Ruth Becker will open a small bakery in Bremen. The first thing she perfects is American-style biscuits. She names the shop Danke 1945, though few customers ever know why the year matters so much. Elsa Kleiner will find her 2 sons alive in a displaced persons camp. The first real meal she cooks for them is scrambled eggs with spam. They eat 3 helpings and ask why their mother is crying. In 1978, 33 years after that dusty field, 21 of the original 38 women gather in Darmstadt again. They bring children, grandchildren, and a few American husbands. They lay a wreath where the kitchen trucks once stood. One by one they read aloud the note they all still carry. Their voices tremble, but they do not break. Some moments never fade, because some moments are bigger than victory or defeat. Some moments are simply the first time someone looks at you and sees a human being instead of an enemy. On that day in May 1945, 38 German women learned that peace does not always begin with treaties. Sometimes it begins with scrambled eggs, buttered biscuits, and a young lieutenant who chose mercy. For the rest of their lives, the women will remember that food had no uniform. Hunger did not care who won the war, and kindness did not ask which side they served. It simply arrived when it was least expected. Whenever they taste real butter or smell coffee brewing, they are carried back to that field, to the steam rising from mess tins, to hands that did not strike but offered, to mercy spoken softly in a foreign accent. They will remember a young lieutenant from Texas who had seen too much death and chose not to add to it. A man who understood that ending a war sometimes means refusing to continue it in your heart. Years later, historians will count victories, borders, and casualties. But none of those numbers will capture what truly changed that day, when enemies sat on the same ground and shared warmth, food, and silence. Because peace does not always begin with signatures or speeches. Sometimes it begins with a plate of scrambled eggs, a biscuit dripping with butter, and the courage to see a stranger as human. And whenever they close their eyes, they still hear it, a gentle voice across the years, spoken without hate or triumph. Essen bitte eat, please. You are home now.